Hello, Phillies and Gentlecores. It is the Rainbow Brony here again, bringing you another episode of the Rainbow Brony's Nightmare Night. And today I'm bringing you Sweet Apple Massacre. And immediately before I start, I must give out a warning. This fanfic is extremely gory. Has abuse in it in the sexual way. And it involves getting the Cutie Mark Crusader dismembered and raped by Big Macintosh. Spoiler, spoiler. So, if you don't like rape or dismembering in this, you should not keep listening and just go to another fanfic. You have been warned. Don't troll me for it. I warned you. Come on, seriously. So, my first time reading it, and I just want to thank my good friend DJ GLaDOS at True Brony Radio for informing me of this fanfic. Thanks a lot, GLaDOS. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate. Blah, blah, blah. I'm stuttering again. I really appreciate you making the radio. Keep going, dude. I just hope my cats don't come running around again. Let me just turn off the lights here, because it still is a horror fanfic. Alright, so it's 1:30 midnight. It's nearly midnight, so let's get started. Just hope my mom won't come running in. That would be bad. Like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Alright, here we go. Oh, wait. Sweet Apple Massacre. Big Macintosh surveyed the many trees. I'm pretty sure that must be apple trees that made up Sweet Apple Acres. It was nearly apple bug season once again, and it looked as though they were be having a bumper harvest this year. He nodded satisfied. His sister Applejack walked up beside him. "Whoa, boy, howdy. I'm glad you ain't injured this time, Big Macintosh," she said. I hope that my accent fits all. He nodded satisfied. His sister Applejack walked up beside him. Oh, wait a sec. I'm reading the wrong shit. Sorry. Well, why? There's even more apples on them trees than last year. Yep, Big Macintosh replied in his characteristic manner. Them's a lot of apples. Applejack was silent for a moment, enjoying the feel of the slight breeze against her blonde mane. Say, I don't suppose you've seen Apple Bloom anywhere, have you? I've been looking for her all day, and she ain't nowhere to be found. Big Macintosh shook his head. Sorry, sis. Can't say I have. Darn. That silly filly's probably gone off somewhere with her friends. Just hope she ain't getting herself in any mischief, or else there'll be hay to pay. Don't go worrying yourself, Applejack, he replied. I'm sure that she's perfectly fine. But anyway, I need to go back to the barn. I gotta go and press some apples for some of my home-brewed apple cider. I picked a few apples earlier, especially. Whoa. All nice and plump and ripe. I'm pretty sure that should be all nice, plump, and ripe. But whatever. And they ain't gonna press themselves. Applejack laughed. You sure do love your cider, don't ya? Just make sure Apple Bloom don't get the hooves on it again. We all know what happened last time. Big Macintosh chuckled along with his sister. Yep. Yep. He's really a one-liner. Yep. Right. The large red pony trotted back to the barn and gently closed the door. He opened a trapdoor with his mouth and went down the steps into an old, disused apple cellar. Usually it was just filled with junk, scrap metal, old worn-out plows, old rope, and various other bits and bobs that outlived their usefulness. Big Macintosh often came down here when he wanted to get away from the world, to withdraw for a little, for some peace and quiet. Today was different. However, the old rope at last had found a new use, because in cellar space were Apple Bloom and her Apple Bloom and her fellow Cutie Mark Crusaders, Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo, bound and gagged, propped up against the wall. Three pairs scared, round eyes looking up at Big Macintosh as he approached. Now then, you three fillies, he said, as placid as ever. You all need to learn a lesson. You need to learn not to mess around with Big Macintosh. All I want is some peace and quiet, he said, looking directly at Apple Bloom. The little red-haired filly cowered under his gaze. All I want is a quiet life without all you cutie mark crusaders running around the place making the noise, making with the noise. When I'm finished with y'all, there's gonna be no noise from you ever again. Oh boy, here starts. Let me just get my keyboard off real quick. I'm such an idiot. Wasn't really prepared. Damn. Right, there we go. As Big Macintosh approached, School's wings. Blah, 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 blah. I'm really stuttering right now. As Big Macintosh approached, Schooloo flapped her wings, struggling to get off the ground. Big Macintosh laughed and grabbed one of her wings. He twisted, at first slow, watching the pain visibly grow in her eyes, but then tore hard, smiling slightly when he heard the snap and the muffled whimper that came from Schooloo. He then threw it to the ground. Your wings are useless. I can't do that with the accent. Your wings are useless, you silly filly, he said pleasantly. Oh, okay. He then went to a toolbox and took out a rusty knife with a jagged blade and dropped it in front of the three fillies. I'm gonna take off those gags now, he said. The first one of you to scream gets their tongues cut out. I don't know what's a gag, but let me just search this up real quick. I kind of want to know what the fuck it's about. I should have had it ready. Is it like junk or something? What the fuck? Let's see. I'll just translate it to my language real quick. A gag. Wait a sec. That's another thing. Let me just copy and paste this real quick. I'm really an idiot. I should have done this before. Is a gag like... One hand typing for the win. Lady Bell. Gag. First. I don't know what it means. I'll just find out later. She looked up at him with terror, but managed to stay quiet. Next was Schooloo. She let out a strange whine and was breathing heavily, still in horrendous pain from her broken wing, but managed to resist the temptation. Finally, he removed the gag from his sister Applebloom. She stared at him with his large round eyes, filled with fear and incomprehension. This was Big Macintosh after all. Her big brother and the gentlest of souls, wasn't he? Surely this was just a horrible joke. But she had seen what he had done to Schooloo's wing, and this was definitely no joke. She took a deep breath. Applejack! Big Macintosh shoved his hoof in Applebloom's mouth, silencing her scream. He sighed and shook his head. I told you not to scream, Applebloom. You should listen to your big brother. I'll scream and scream again, and I'll back we're here and out. Applebloom said faintly. Do it, and these people you can. Is he talking to the narrator? What the hell? You know, I kinda hope you do. After all, I still ain't forgiven Applejack for the injuries he gave me last Applebuck season. If you want Applejack to join y'all down here, scream away. I, for one, will welcome a company. But now, the business. Uh-oh. Oh boy, here comes the good part. Big Macintosh picked up the knife and loomed over the cowering Applebloom. He pinned her down with a powerful hoof and stuck the knife into Applebloom's mouth. Sweetie Belle vomited at the sight, the thick yellow chunks and acidic-smelling liquid spattering heavily over the floor. Schooloo managed not to be sick, but rather gasped and sobbed and choked with panic. I think that should be, but rather gasped, sobbed, and choked with panic. Big Macintosh forced open Applebloom's mouth and with some effort cut out her tongue. Applebloom tried to scream, but her mouth was too full of blood, so it was more of a muted gurgle. After a short while she collapsed, tears streaming from her eyes, falling unconscious from the shock and the pain. Big Macintosh then took the tongue and rolled it into the puddle of purged vomit on the floor. He smiled at Skulu. Oh, that's kind of disturbing. I'm shaking again. Skulu shook her head vigorously and cast him a deafening glance. If Rainbow Dash was here, she would kick the crap out of you maniac. Oh, don't worry, Skulu. I would kick the crap out of him if I was here as well. If I was there as well. What? Alright, that's kind of weird. Oh, I think it's the narrator talking. Big Macintosh shrugged. Well, she ain't. And anyway, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Rainbow Dash ain't as tough as she likes to make out. That's not true, Big Macintosh. Fuck you. Rainbow Pony's the best pony. True story. Right. He shoved the vomit-covered tongue into Skulu's mouth. Ugh. And used his hoof to clamp her mouth shut. Don't you go trying to spit it out now, he said calmly with a little laugh, and the filly strode and squirmed. Skulu closed her eyes and flapped her one good wing desperately, eventually swallowing Apple Bloom's tongue. Ugh. Oh, great, here comes the rape part. Great. I don't know if I can read this. Seriously. Alright, here we go. Big Macintosh, still holding the racing Skulu down with his strong hooves, then mounted the orange filly and slid his penis into her inside virgin pussy, raping her for several minutes while Sweetie Belle watched, trembling with revulsion. Oh my god. Apple Bloom was still out cold, blood pouring from her torn up mouth. The author knows everything about sex, and he's also a good writer. That makes the story so much worse. Cutie Mark Crusader's rape victim, Big Macintosh said with tender mockery as he fucked Skulu, followed by a gentle chuckle. Guess y'all found your purpose in life now. Your special talent's getting raped. Yep. Oh my god. This is a horror fanfic and a freaking clop fic at the same time. Jesus. I'm not getting a stiff one from that, bud. Eventually, he withdrew from Skulu and gripped her head tight and repeatedly punched her hard with a hoof in the face, causing her nose to shatter and spurt with blood. He scooped up some of the blood and some of Sweetie Belle's vomit with his tongue and held it in his mouth, so that it mixed with his saliva, and then brought his mouth close to Skulu's and spat the rank mixture into her mouth. Ew. He clamped his hoof over her mouth and held her nose until she gagged, and eventually had no choice but to swallow. Shit, man. Oh my god, this is freaking disgusting. As Skulu retched and spat and cried, he turned to Sweetie Belle. He grabbed her easily as she was too shocked and traumatized to respond. And with apartment amusement, he rammed her horn up Skulu's ass. The horn was too big and hard, so the skin around Skulu's ass ripped and blood and fecal matter first trickled and then poured profusely down onto Sweetie Belle's face, as well as urine as Skulu pissed herself. This is, You keep doing that, Sweetie Belle, he said. The unicorn carried on, pushing her horn up Skulu's anus. And slowly but surely, her normal well-groomed pink and purple mane was now stained with a reddish-brown glinting with the wetness of the piss and blood. If you stop, I'll come over here and get creative. I may seem a little bit dense, but I'm actually quite a creative stallion, you know, Big Macintosh said with a wink. Yep. He went to Apple Bloom and penetrated its little stitched unconscious body with his hard cock. Oh my god, this is a horrible fanfic. I can't do it. While he violated her and another knife, this one sharp and shiny, and sliced open her flank, causing her glistering intestines to flop out wetly onto the floor. He glanced over and was pleased to see that Sweetie Belle was still using her horn to anally penetrate Scootaloo, and her face was now completely covered in blood, feces, and urine. Oh, that's... He turned his attention back to Apple Bloom and scooped up her crimson entrails and wrapped them around her neck. Still fucking the filly. With his front hoof, he pulled and pulled until it was wrapped tightly around Apple Bloom's neck that it broke her windpipe. She was now surely dead, but Big Macintosh continued fucking her furiously until her body became the loose form and collapsed into a quivering, amorphous mass of fur, blood, and flesh. The perineum had fallen away, leaving a single red and gall gaping void. He carried on until he was fucking nothing but a single swollen and bloody orifice. Ugh. And then discarded his baby sister's carcass as though she were nothing more than a rotten apple core. And there it says something else. And now the author says, I would love to know what's going on in Big Mac's head. Well, I don't. Okay, so here it really gets gory. He then took the knife and grabbed Sweetie Belle and tossed her aside. He forced himself into Scootaloo's ruined anus and then took the knife and cut her ass in a sweeping motion up to her belly. And, that's disgusting. Oh, God. And took the knife and cut up from her ass in a sweeping motion up to her belly, and all her innards fell out. He then grabbed her head, twisted and tore it clean off, using his immense strength, and fucked it in the mouth and then tossed it aside. He then had sex with her headless body, both in the vagina and the ass, until he got bored. Dude, this is gross, dude. Seriously. Big Macintosh, dang. Sweetie Belle was the last remaining cutie mark crusader. She was herself barely conscious, overcome with a no-shoes stench of blood, shit, and piss that covered her horn and her face. Big Macintosh pinned Sweetie Belle down with his hoof and plunged the knife into her green eye and twisted, causing vitreous fluid to dribble out onto the handle. At that, Sweetie Belle let out a throaty whine and involuntarily emptied her bowels, and the aroma of fresh urine and feces filled the apple cellar once again. He withdrew the knife and did the same to the other eye, each time holding her tight and sticking her hoof into her mouth to silence her agonized screams. He licked the vitreous fluid that had leaked onto the knife, and then methodically, began cutting and hacking at her front hoof using the rusty knife. The knife was quite blunt, so it took a Herculean effort to get through the skin, bone, and cartilage. But eventually the bone splintered and the leg came off. He did the same to her other legs until all four were amputated and nothing remained but bloody stumps, with slimy white ligament and broken bone shards hanging out. Oh my God. At some point, Sweetie Belle passed out, the overwhelming pain too much for her to bear. Oh my God. This is disgusting. Ew. He then used the knife to gouge out her left eye and jammed his penis into her eye socket. Dude. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh shit, seriously? Oh my God, he's now raping someone. Sweetie Belle's eye, come on. Oh my God. Then jammed his penis into her eye socket, penetrating repeatedly deep into her brain, enjoying how tight her skull felt around his hard shaft and how warm and squishy the brain matter felt against the tip of his throbbing penis. Oh my God, I'm gonna be traumatized. As he did, he twisted Sweetie Belle's neck. After he had finished skull fucking her, oh nice thing, He cracked open her skull with a swift stamp of the hoof, and bent down and ate some of the exposed brain, taking care to spit out a few fragments of skull bone that had gotten mixed in as he chewed. Ew! It was warm and slimy and tough, and stuck to the back of his throat. He swallowed it, then raped Sweetie Belle in the ass until it tore open, and his engorged penis was smeared with what little fecal matter that remained in her rectum. Ew! Oh, no, this is... Oh, no, this is disgusting. Warning, even more disgusting shit ahead. Come on. When is it over? I don't want to go on it anymore. Oh, I'm doing this for YouTube, so I have to carry on. Oh, God. He took one of Sweetie Belle's detached legs and shoved it. Lights just went out. Scared me. He took one of Sweetie Belle's detached legs and shoved it inside her ass, and then fucked Apple Bloom and School's bodies the same way, forcing the amputated limb in, hoof first, as far as it could go. He thought how strange it was that the still lumps of torn flesh that he was fucking with Sweetie Belle's leg had been so vibrant and alive such a short time ago. But now all three were dead, and he finished by spreading his voluminous load into Apple Bloom's destroyed backside. He watched with satisfaction as the semen and blood and shit mixed together, forming a foamy maroon pool. He bent down and greedily lapped... Dude, that's disgusting. He bent down and greedily lapped up some of it with his tongue, pressing his tongue deep into her anal cavity, so as not to miss any, letting some dribbling down his chin. It tasted foul, of course, a rancid, tangy slime that burned his throat, but it felt so satisfying. He swallowed the filthy goo and wiped his mouth with a hoof. Big Macintosh would finally get his peace and quiet. Big Macintosh, you down there? It was Applejack. He looked at the disfigured corpses of the three fillies, now all now barely recognizable as the oh-so-sweet Cutie Mark Crusaders, and realized he felt strangely unsatisfied. Stutter. It had been a bit too quick and easy. Now, Applejack, that would be a challenge. She was Ponyville's best athlete, after all. She even had the prize of Ponyville trophy, the prize pony of Ponyville trophy to prove it. And of course, he still hadn't forgiven her for that injury. He felt his penis stiffen once more in anticipation. Hey, Big Mac, I said, are you down there? Came Applejack lilting? What the fuck's that? Lilting voice again. This time more insistent. Big Macintosh replied serenely or something. I sure am, sis. Hey, come down here for a minute. I got something to show you. Sure thing. What is it? It's a surprise. Oh boy, I do love surprises. Something real nice, I bet. Something real nice? Big Macintosh looked at the mangled, mutilated remains of the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and his lips curled into a thin smile. Yep. Wow, that's... It's different. I think I am now traumatized for life. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I don't think I should be saying this, but I should say I'm mind-fucked right now. Oh my god, this is the most horrible thing I've ever read in my entire life. Even Bloody Cupcake doesn't keep up to it, or any other fanfics that I've been reading. Jesus Christ. Alright, so that's the end of Sweet Apple Massacre, I guess. Oh my god. That's really disturbing. And really, like, I don't enjoy this, you know. Alright, but also a little thing that I want to tell you guys is I am going to be doing these once in a while, And if I get about around 50 subscribers, I might start streaming. That's right, live streaming. And it'll probably be me drawing something or shit like that. You know, I'm trying to draw or something. You know, I've been practicing. If you can check my DeviantArt account, the link will be down in the description. You can see a little birdie I drew. And, you know, you could just check it out. And, of course, look all the other Nightmare Night parts. I would really appreciate it if you watched it. You know, and tell me what you think about it. And if you want to know what... sorry, I'm stuttering a bit. I don't have a script. If you want to suggest a fanfic, it doesn't matter what kind of fanfic you want me to read, just leave it down in the comments, send a personal message, you know. You'll have more chance of me finding, replying and choosing a fanfic whenever you personal message me and, like, when you put, like, fanfics you should read or something, you know, just send me a PM with that, and then you'll have more chance of me viewing it. So if you guys want to meet me, I am spending a lot of time on the True Brony radio station on the IRC chat, so you know, I hang out there a lot. Alright, so thanks for watching, I guess, for this story, I should say. I wouldn't really call it a story. But thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. I hope I don't have to remind you guys of it again, but it really helps me. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Rainbow Brony out.